These 3 pearls are of poor quality. This pearl is a different color. This pearl is a different color. This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. Too many defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes. Female anatomy. I should put this book somewhere else. And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters. Hospitals and dispensaries in London. General practitioner? That won't be of any use to me. The work table, where Holmes analyses things. Holmes's homemade analyzer. I have found your map.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God, how horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
Holmes, look!
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How dreadful.
Mutilated and killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one, therefore we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue. This stove is filled to overflowing. The fingers have been crushed and violently struck. The fingers have been crushed and violently struck.
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers. His forearms have been ripped, pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt. There is blood on this paperweight. This paperweight was used to crush the victim's fingers. I am missing some information. Impossible to open it. I am missing some information. Reverend, I'm missing something, an implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No! Go to the devil!
What are you afraid of, Reverend? What is inside the chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the law and no one else. You have no right to search here.
What should we do next, Holmes? A surgical scalpel covered in blood.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson. Closed. This door has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
It is impossible to get out. The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here. The picture of Peregrine Maitland. commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
This metal rod is for fastening the chilies. It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
A whip?
No. It's a cilice. This stove is filled to overflowing. This stove is filled to overflowing. These burns are terrible. A finger. Apparently it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How dreadful!
These burns are terrible.
You can see by his expression that he suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth. My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's unbelievable, Holmes. His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade. There isn't any doubt the wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel. You can see by his
mouth.
You can see
his mouth.
A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety. It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
A broken phial and blood near the neck.
What a strange smell. Phew, chemical components, I think.
You have no right to search here.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Yes, if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who was so impatient to call the police. That's not right. Start again. A fragment of stone. Peculiar. Perfect. We now know that there were 3 crooks. Size 9. Size 9.5. Size 9.5. Size 9. Size 9. Size 9. That's not right. Start again. 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 Well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles. Hobnail. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe. Hobnail boots like those worn by laborers. That's not right. Start again. That's not right. Start again. That's not right. Start. That's not right. Start again. I cannot leave now.
What should we do next, Holmes?
That's not right. Start again. Size 9. Size 9.5. That's not right. Start again. Size 9. Size 9. Strange but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here. Therefore, we have 3 men who came in and left again, but one of them was wearing a different pair of shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So, all we have to do is look for a workman who likes Italian shoes.
You have no right to search here.
What do you think, Holmes?
closed. I cannot leave now. The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of
The Bishop of...
It's a Celine.
A whip?
No. Impossible to open it.
His stomach is covered...
So, these were a piece of rope that was used to tie up that poor man. This stove is... There is blood.
What should we do next, Holmes?
The bishop's... A bottle of whiskey. The finger. I cannot leave now.
You have no right to search here.
A broken bottle.
This stove is filled to overflowing.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline. It's a cilice. It's a cilice.
A whip?
No, it is a discipline for self-flagellation. It is impossible. I am missing some information. The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry.
The bishop. A broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety. This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
This poor man was tied just below the knee.
To stop him.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes? My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
Something is missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing. I cannot leave now. This stove is filled to overflowing. Closed.